Hi. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to be ranking Dead Boy Detective Season 1 characters. Now, I finished the season a few days ago, and I'm kind of watching all the secret theory videos and getting into the kind of head canons and the kind of people reading the graphic novels being like, this is what could happen, and seeing if it's like weaved into the Sandman universe. I'm getting into all of that on youtube.co.uk.biz. Now, I found this on tiermaker.com, which I've seen a whole bunch of other kind of ranking stuff before, and I've watched videos of people rank characters using this site. So I was like searching, and I was so happy to find a Dead Boy Detective one, kind of like immediately. But the girls don't play about the little gay boys, and neither do I. But let's start. So they on the left hand side here you have the S A B C D F tier, which is kind of like S tier is like top. F tier is like fail at the bottom. It's a gaming kind of ranking system. I gotta get my girl Esther. She was Bird's Case. She was kind of like cunty, giving older, aging bitter queen who hates kids. Like that's actually like exactly what gay people are into. Like an aging bitter queen, someone who hates children, someone who's like kind of cunty and kind of like doing her big one. Like nope, she ain't dating nobody, she ain't with nobody. Her only mission is to get revenge, and she's like jilted in some way. Like literally, that's like this character was written specifically for gay men. This show is like for the gays, and it's like I've not heard people talking about it on the kind of scale as like a Heartstopper or something, but I'm seeing this as one of those like underground shows that kind of like keeps chugging, and people are like, this show has very little viewers, how is it still going type thing. I like that. This is kind of one of the underdog shows that people are gonna like rediscover in a few years and be like, oh my god, we let this show go under our noses. That's kind of the thing about shows that like have deep messages and say like and like deal with big ideas. They kind of like pop up in the social conversation later, or at least that's how I see it. She's apparently like gone. Like there's like no theories are saying that Esther ever comes back. Like people are like, oh, she's gone. She was a season 1 villain, and she stayed that way. And I was like, great, love that. I love a show that's like when they're done with a person, they're done. Cause like I don't know if any of you watched Agents of Shield, but like there's this character Grant Ward. Yeah, like with the Grant Ward, he just kept coming back, and I was like, can y'all let him be dead? Like I know y'all love the actor, and I know he's maybe a sweetheart, and I want to keep working with him and keep giving him work. Great, but like, yeah, let him go. Okay, so under her is Nico. Nico, I think, was the heart of this season, and she kind of like on her journey. Because I was rewatching other people's reactions and a couple episodes myself, and like they've been telling us, the writers have been telling us they were going to kill Nico from the beginning. Like whenever they mention, oh no, we might die, cameras on Nico. The 8 ball that tells you when you die, Nico had it. Like there's just all these like things that are building up Nico's death. Like her character arc over the first season, I think, was the most fully realized, and it kind of like it did that thing to where like she learned just by simply being around kind of the main cast of characters. Like that's interesting to me because it's less of like a character that exists to tell you how good you are. It's like not doing that. It's just like no. She's in the show. She's with the friends, and her story isn't constantly being hit on every episode. But over the course of the season, you're like, oh, she was growing. That was her thing that she was doing. I love that. I love that. I love when one of the characters is self-sustained by just being around the other characters. That's cool because that's kind of like what life is like. That was a really interesting kind of way that they did that. She was just also just like funny. Like her comedy is my favorite kind of comedy, which is a kind of like ditzy person who's like not necessarily good at all the like rough stuff. They're not fighters. They're not like people who are witches, and they're not like people who like gun ho. But they like, okay, I'm not gonna do that, but I'm like over here. Like she's like, I have perfect reading comprehension. I'm like, yeah, because she's read every gay fanfic and little manga there is. So she's like, no, I can read a thing and understand what it means and do that. That's what I do. Because let me tell you something. As detectives, most of their work is reading articles and like, I don't know, probably like researching. So it's like, I think that she was like perfect for that team. The only one who reads on that team is Edwin. He's the only one that reads a book. He be telling Charles, go get the book that says this, and Charles is like, but which word? No shade. Hey, I love a bitch that can read, but A tier is Nico, and then like theories on Nico. So people were saying that she is the principal that showed up with the night nurse. People are saying that like if you go to the scene on the roof when Nico and Edwin are talking, you can see feet or somebody else is on the roof. Just like all these theories, they were saying the igloo is like her um, ideal afterlife, and the sprites are there because she befriended them, and she's gonna try to find out how to come back to Earth. Some people say she didn't actually get, her soul didn't actually leave with death because we never saw the blue light and we never saw death show up. So there's all these kind of theories and stuff. And then the showrunners in an interview let slip that Nico's not dead. They were like, well, just she's not dead. We can't tell you where she is, but she's not dead. And people are like, feels like that was you shouldn't have done that. You should like let it be a secret. But I actually don't mind if they did that because for me, I like how they're like, hey, this character that you got really attached to that we ripped from your hands is not really gone in a sense. Like the actress will come back and she will be in the show. You know what I mean? Like I think that that's cool. Now, if she's gonna end up coming back and being a part of the gang, great. If she's not, let her do her journey and like give her a send off. Don't keep this girl in the show if we're not gonna see them reunite. That's my I hate that trope when like a character dies and is alive somewhere else, but the main like cast never sees them. It's give us a reunion or stop doing that. I don't know. It feels weird, and then after a while, we're like, oh, do we care about this character journey if it's not going to lead him back to the main people? Kind of feels like two shows in one. It feels like super separated. So I hate when they do that. Don't do that, writers. If you can hear me, I know you watch my videos. Okay, so under Nico will be. Ooh, this is hard. Okay, so maybe B tier will be. Oof. I don't want you to drag me in them comments. The sprites. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but they were so funny. Like I love Caitlin Riley. She got really big on like TikTok and Instagram for doing those like um, kind of like waspy kind of white girl in real life things. Like one's like, oh, when like every girl in every like rom com or like whatever, she like kind of does that. And I found those very funny because she's so good. So she's in this as one of the Spice Jam, and I don't know the way they had bars. They was on Nico's ass every second that they got. That's so funny to me because you think that they're like it's that juxtaposition, right? Because they're like the sprites make you see like colors and you're so like in awe of them, and then when you meet them, they're just like two of the worst people you know. I would love like if they do like a trio buddy cop comedy thing where Nico's trying to find her way back to the gang and the sprites are just like there because they have nowhere else to be, and that's just like a funny dynamic. I would even watch that as a spinoff, to be quite honest. So they're B tier for me because they kept the kind of like funny um, aspect in like a dark show. Also, like they was just talking shit, and I love that. I love how it wasn't like PG-13 sprites. It was like, no, fuck you. What are you talking? Love that. Next on C tier is my boy Cat King. Cat King. He was, he's just like that kind of like older gay seducing a baby gay type thing, and it just seems really kind of like, whoa, what's going on? Because Edwin's like, what is this feeling that I have for other men? And Cat King's like, I see you. You gay, huh? Which has happened to me multiple times. But not to give you all too much of my business, but yeah, so that's what Cat King is playing, and he's like, yeah, at the end, everyone's like, you're lonely. You play games, you like find toys to distract yourself from it, but that's what's happening. Because like, yeah, he's been alive for almost as long as Esther has, so I'm pretty sure he's just kind of like lonely and just kind of like doing whatever. Hopefully he comes back in some. Now I don't want a full arc with the Cat King because I feel like there's different gays to meet and different gays to be in the show. But him coming back and helping for a little something could be cool. Maybe even get into a fight with like London's Cat King because in my brain they're all like regional, or they're like country by country, and that could be fun. But like, that's it, just that. Who's next on Cat King level? You know, I'm gonna go ahead and have to say Night Nurse. Night Nurse. I know her from obviously where we all know her from Supernatural, playing Rowena. Um, she was one of the only late edition characters that I actually didn't mind being in the show, because you know they had added like just like a whole bunch more kind of like hunters, demons, angels, postman. You know, everybody, their mom came back at some point. It's just like everybody was in the show and we were like, that's too much. It kind of walked far away from like, you know, what makes Supernatural cool, which was just like driving around like Ohio, like the Midwest, and like hunting ghosts. Like that's what was cool to me about the show. I think when they went to the angels and demons of it all, they kind of like they stuck there for far too long. Like it was just, you know. But I have a whole thing about that show. Night Nurse is cool. I like how first season, like these women who work with her, like terrified of her, and these boys aren't. And she, no shade. The postman can find them wherever they are. Cat King is constantly finding Edwin. Esther knows where these boys are the entire time. You don't know where they are? Like at all? Like this random postman knows where they are. Like, you know, and at the end, I think maybe a direct response to that was her showing up in the package. Hopefully that was her being like, I know where you are. I found out how to find you. Hopefully. That's the connection my brain is making. Y'all let me know if y'all got that too. Hopefully she finds, you know what? I want her arc to be her maybe not finding the man that was in the sea monster, but I hope she finds just something else, because she's giving me I don't want to take time off because I don't have a life type of girl, and I want more from her. I want more for her too. Okay, it feels like okay. Let's put the boys here. Let's put Edwin and Charles here. Because I do like them. I do like Edwin. He's kind of like cunt. He's like, first of all, and then it's like he's kind of like, they're boy detectives. And then so I like that little cuntiness of it all. He's very British. Like no hugs, kind of like no emotion. Like they got that. That's very repressed Brit. That's a very wonderful showcase of that. Like they did a really good job of that, because that's accurate. Charles, super sad that, like, you know, Edwin was with him since he died. Like that feels, you know, when I saw that episode, you know, Edwin is really just like, I don't know, keeping him company while he slowly passes away. Like it's so cute. But the fact that he was like, all right, bye, like this, y'all, you were really his only friend in that moment. Like he's not, y'all was BFFs. Y'all was chasing each other to the end of time. Yeah. I want Charles to figure out what his relationship to Crystal is, because that'll give Edwin, I think, the space and peace for him to go find out who he is, and like find maybe a cute boy to hang out with who can take it slow, because she's that like cotillion girly. She's like like that's her. So it's gonna have to be real slow. Like I want that for them in the next season. And I just want more gothic London stuff, like castles and like in the countryside they're chasing. That's cool. Like give me that shit, because London is so old. There are literally a cajillion ghosts there probably. So that's what I want for the boys. Really love their story and their dynamic, and just can't wait for more. Now Crystal Palace is here too. I like her story's gonna be interesting to watch her go back to London and deal with that. I want people from her past to come up, and I want it to be like My Name is Earl, where she's like making amends as they're ghost hunting, and maybe something that gets like wrapped up together. Just want to see a continuation, because like, you know, the amnesia thing is a pretty cool story device. I think they did it well, which is very rare. Like, you know, in amnesia stuff, you can't really relate to the main character because they don't know who they are. So like you're like, oh, I don't know. I guess I can just want for you to get your memories back while I'm watching. You know what I mean? Because in anything that they build off having no memories, The only thing that's interesting about that is that when they get their memories back, are they the same person? Were they a better person? Are they a worse person now? Like that's interesting, but like you're kind of locked into that. Like you can't really explore anything else. So I want for her with her memories, like go undo stuff. That would be cool to watch a kind of a woman who is working through her inner demons and kind of being like, oh, that person that I was literally like a couple weeks ago. Because I'm assuming this show takes place over like maybe a month or something, like maybe 6 weeks. She's like, I'm not that person anymore. I want that for her. So C tier, I think C is a cute, snuggly place for her. Ooh, y'all about to be mad at me. Let's do. Let's do. Let's do. Ginny's story was interesting. She's just this like badass goth chick who owns a random butcher. Hey, not mad at that. Her storyline is kind of sad. Like she's like, life has never been good to me, so I don't have any expectations, and I'm just like annoyed at everybody and everything, cutting my meat up in this like hopefully successful butcher shop, you know. And then these kids come, and she's like, "Aren't you all supposed to just be in high school anyway? Why are y'all out and about?" And she's like, "Ugh, I don't care, fine." And then you know, the one time she does actually believe in love and open up, this woman tries to murder her. She's like, "This is why." That's like so fucked up. But I guess it just begs the question of like, do you stop trying? Like, if that's consistently what's happening to you when you do try it and open yourself up, like, do you stop? Like, do you just accept that that is your life and you can never be happy? Or do you just continuously try to like find something that works? You know what I mean? I think that's an interesting question that the show posed that I definitely asked myself when I watched that apology from Ginny to Nico, because it's real. It's like, okay, if you're like in her specific instance, if you like are always trying to date people and the person always ends up being like a little off, or like it always ends bad, or like whatever, something terrible always happens, are you gonna stop like dating people? Are you gonna like look inward and see if you're attracting people and what are you not noticing and things like that? Or are you gonna just give up and like that's it? Like, what, you know what I mean? It's an interesting question about nihilism. But Jenny, for me, she's sorry. Because the show was so doom and gloom. I was hoping for more characters. Oh, if she's in the, if she comes to London and she's in the butcher shop, great. If she's just like kind of like a season one and done thing, um, I mean, I think that would just tell me, hey, there's fucked up, sad people in the world, and they're just in the world. You know what I mean? There's no messaging or growth for me to be of the show saying like, okay, well, she's gonna come here and she's gonna grow with them. You know what I mean? Because I mean, my God, in this show we need something. But as with that little boy that was in hell that used to torture Edwin, it seems like it's reversible, or there's some type of light at the end of the tunnel for the girlies. I don't know. Hopefully they explore that more in season 2, because that was interesting. How yeah, that little boy, I guess, ended up going to his ideal afterlife, because we saw the blue lights and heard death swings in hell. So that, like, you know what I mean? That's interesting. That's an interesting concept that I would love for them to continue upon. Now next down here, it's gonna be Tragic Mick. I found out that, or I realized the magic store is called Magic Mix, but they call him Tragic Mick because he's so sad and like kind of like depressing all the time. I was like, oh, that was a joke, and I went over my head because there's so many other fucking things in the show you gotta pay attention to. So Mick is on D. I do like how his story was in the background, because his is actually so sad. Like he's stuck as another being, missing his like family, because he's like, I want to go to the real world, and he's like, the real world's like ass and it's like really horrible. Let me just go back to the sea. Instead, it's like, girl, no, I told you no. Like once you go human, you can't come back. I was hoping that at the last moment he got a little something something that he found. Even if he just found the sea glass and it just kind of like swooshed him away, that would have been good enough for me. But I guess it's like not everybody can get a happy ending, and I hate that that's what the show is saying, because I want it so bad, and we get some of that with the main characters. But damn, these like side characters are really just like out of luck, huh? Kind of crazy. This cat as well. That cat was in like 2 episodes. It was like, why are we? But we found out he's the cat's like, I guess, right hand man or something, or general. So I guess that's cool. I don't know. Forgettable for me. Sorry to that man, but forgettable. In F tier, you know I had to do it. Monty. And I have since rewatched, and I get it. He is fully another being with access to different emotions and feelings, and he's feeling something for Edwin. It's funny because this witch has a gay crow. So funny. It's just like everything around her was iconic. I hate that she killed Nico, but S tier, S tier. She's S tier. But Monty, I get it. And like he was like into Edwin, and Edwin was like, no. And that was very funny to watch. But I get it. He's a teenage boy experiencing heartbreak. Which, does any character have anything good? Because that's crazy. You turn this crow into a human, and the first thing you have to experience is just like heartbreak. Like, what the fuck is happening? But yeah. And after Esther dies, I did ask myself, so what now? What happens to Monty? Maybe he gets to just be a free crow. I don't know. He's not a human person, so I'm not gonna feel bad about him. But I get that kind of character. Kind of like too much, too quick, too fast. And Edwin's like, oh, we're just like friends. It's right. And Monty's like, no. Which is it is cute. It's like him being like, he's just like pretending to be human and like, you know, performing teen boy. Because I guess he actually is a teen boy. And Esther's like, what the hell's wrong with you? She made him a real teeny boy, which is like her power, right? Because she could have just been like, oh, you just look like a teen boy. But she gave him the feelings, thoughts, which to me is like crazy. Because it's like, did he have to fully be human? Like, what was she thinking Monty was going to do? Anyway. Yeah, so that's my ranking. I think that that's good. I don't know that I would switch anybody. I mean, the main 3 characters after the sprites is crazy. But I don't know. I kind of felt that whenever they were on camera, I knew I would be laughing. And I think because in this like fucking dark show, the comedy of it is what really stuck with me. Yeah, I think that's what this is actually showing. Because all the funny people are at the top and all the sad saddies are at the bottom. Damn. Well, hey, I'm not taking none of this back. Yeah, I don't think I need to make any changes either. Yeah, this is good. But yeah, that's my ranking. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.